measured all them. So A to D, we had 14.9 with the 3 air stadia 14.9, and measurement is 14.767, so nearly 14.8, so it's about 134 mil out. From A to B with 13.601 physically measured, and with 13.00, so that one isn't so good, might have to check the calculations on that. And then from C to D, 17.725, and the 3 air stadia was 17.90, so again 150 mil on that. I have taken reciprocal distances with 3 air stadia, so I can mean these out and just see if we get a better result. And then to D, I measured 27.592 and we got 27.8, so again a couple hundred mil. And again, it seems a lot, and it is a lot, but you're trying to interpolate a millimetre on the level staff, so it could be a 2 or it could be a 3, and the top one could be a 7 or it could be an 8. Well, if you go to the lowest one on the bottom and the highest one on the top, you could be 200 mils out. So the interpolation of where it is on the staff, which is why it needs to be truly vertical. If it's out of plumb, you'll get a wrong reading. But as I said, I've taken reciprocals, which should minimise the error. And again, at 1 to 500 surveys, if you're plotting using a 3 air stadia, you've got 150 millimetre that you can see with a pen, a 0.3 pencil, and that's 100. You can't measure anything less than 150 millimetres. So 100 mil or even 200 mil is within tolerance for soft detail. That's fences, manholes, gate posts, things like that, and even level positions. If you want it better than that, you're measuring down, you're doing plans at 1 to 50 scale, then your accuracy is 15 millimetres, and obviously it's not good enough for that kind of thing, but it is good enough for levels and trees and other detail like that. But I wouldn't measure your main boundaries of the buildings with that, because it just wouldn't be accurate enough at that scale. Because at 1 to 50, it's, as I say, you can physically measure 15 millimetre on the plan, and it relates to a line. So if you get a line that's 20 millimetres wide, or say 50 millimetres wide, you'll see that on the drawing. It can be a mil or 2 between. But anyway, what I'll do now is I'll lay out the tape and I'll start doing the baseline. So I'll do some chain and offsets. So I'll lay out a baseline and I'll do right angle offsets to the detail and show you how that works. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do now is sketch up what I'm going to survey. So we've got the road here, we've got the fence or gate, look at it. It doesn't need to be scale, as long as you've got an idea. So I've pulled the tape from station A, I've got B there, and I got C up here, or there. I've pulled the tape all the way through. So that's my baseline, and it measures 30.755. Right? I've got a manhole with an IC there, and then I've got the fictitious gate post there and there. And then I've got my 5 metre level grid, which I'm also going to fit just the corners. Okay? And then station D over here. That's C and this is D. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I've taken a tie measurement across from B to D. I've got that on the other side of the sketch because that's a useful check. And then what I'm going to do is as I pull that top, I'm going to take a rough distance between there and there and see what that is. And then I'm going to offset a line to that, a line from that, from a baseline, from that to there, from that to there, and from that to there. Alright, and then this one at the end. And you can extend your baseline either way to fill in your detail. But obviously don't worry about using lots of checks, lots of sketches, because and I'm going to run another baseline from D to C, and then I can do a check on these ones onto that corner point, and I might have to extend it to do that one. But as long as I write on where my zero is and what the changes are and the distance is off, then I should be able to make head nor tail of it. And if you get some that are the wrong way around, then it should matter, but it doesn't matter. Providing you know what you're doing, you can work it all out, and you can sort it out later in the field. Alright, so I'll start by measuring these, and then I'll come up and show you what some of the results are. Okay, I'm also going to use the optical square, certainly for the longer ones, just so that I can find out exactly where I am. Okay? So what I've done is I've put 0 on there, I've marked up the grid points so I know what they are. So the first one was 636 along the grid line and offset 7.97 to the corner of my level grid. Then it was 8.10 along the grid, 14.79 to the fence corner. To the IC was 14.35 offset 320. So this hole here was 24.18 and 1.18 offset, and then to the corner post here 30.75 along and 800 out to it. So you go along and I'll continue doing the other bits on this, and then I'll pull the chain line from this station to that station, and this is the control points, or we call them stations but basically control points, and then I'll put the dimensions on that and we'll do the next bit. Cheers! Right, I'm doing the other fence post, and you can get quite quick at it. I mean, obviously you should know when you're almost at a right angle, and then what I will do is I'll use the optical square to check it. Okay, I've done the all the measurements on that side. I've now run the baseline from that station to that station, control point, and I've now put out my tapes and used my optical square to give me the right angle. So I'll book these down, and then the next video will show you how to do it by trilateration. to fix a few points. All right. Right, this one to the pole got 11.58 and the offset was 4.35. And then I came along here and I did the same on that end, a fictitious gate post. And we'll see what the dimensions were on that. So on this I measured 15.28 and offset was 4.76. So I did the IC and the distance along was 15 point, turn it round so you can see it right. So there's the 15 meters. So we're 15.90 and then we're offset 4.98. Okay, and that's what I had on my readings. As I said, I'll take photographs of this and you can see it clearer. Alright, offset them. I'll do one to this point and then one to the other corner grid point, and then I'll show you how to do trilateration, which is just pulling the tape from control points, and where it intersects, that's your point. And you can either do it, as I said, from using bamboo canes at dimensions along the baseline, or you can do it from the nails banged into your pegs, which is the ends of your baseline, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hook the tapes over the end of it and pull them in from two stations. And ideally, if you can get a 45-degree cut, it'll be helpful. Alright. One other point, if you haven't got a right angle eyepiece, you can use the old trusted hands. So what you do is stand over the tape, either side there, clap your hands in the middle, and that's what your offset is. And to be honest, it's quite accurate. So for this point here, we have a point up there of 6.44, and the offset is 2.10. Alright, I'll do the other one. Once that's done, as I say, put your hands either side of the tape, close your eyes and bang them together and you won't be far away.